Hello everyone, and welcome to my Young and the Restless Official 24 channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The Newman world is about to implode in ways no one could have ever imagined. For years, the tangled web of lies, secrets, and betrayals has defined the Newman family, but nothing could prepare Nick for the moment he discovered the truth about his own mother. What began as a confrontation over Matt Clark's connection to Sienna and Noah spiraled into the most shocking revelation of all time. Nikki Newman, the poised matriarch, the woman who's fought demons, addiction, and scandal, has been hiding a secret so dark, it threatens to tear her family apart. With trembling hands and tear-filled eyes, Nikki finally admits the truth: Matt Clark is her son. It starts innocently enough, or so Nick thinks. He storms into the Newman ranch after yet another chaotic day at Crimson Lights, determined to get answers. His voice echoes through the halls, demanding that his mother tell him what she knows about Matt's mysterious return to Genoa City, about the endless trail of chaos surrounding him, about Sienna's cryptic comments that Matt isn't who everyone thinks he is. Nikki sits by the fire, glass of club soda in hand, clearly rattled. For a moment, she doesn't respond, her fingers trembling as she stares into the flames. "Mom, what's going on?" Nick presses, his tone sharp but filled with concern. "You've been acting strange ever since Matt's name started coming up again. You knew something, didn't you?" Her eyes dart toward him, wide and glistening. The once unshakable Nikki Newman suddenly looks fragile, like a woman standing on the edge of a precipice, knowing one wrong move will send her whole life crashing down. "Nick, there's something you need to know," she whispers, her voice barely audible. "It's something I should have told you years ago." The tension in the air becomes unbearable. Victor's portrait looms in the background, the silent reminder of the family's long history of deception and power. Nick's brow furrows. "Told me what?" Nikki exhales shakily, setting down her glass. "Matt, he isn't just some stranger who came into your life to cause chaos. He's family." Nick laughs bitterly, disbelief flashing across his face. "Family? Mom, what are you talking about? Matt Clark was my enemy. He destroyed Sharon's life, came after me, came after everyone I love. Don't tell me you're feeling sorry for that psychopath now." Nikki flinches at the word psychopath, her lips quivering. "Don't say that," she blurts out. "You don't understand, you don't know his story." Nick's confusion deepens, anger bubbling just beneath the surface. "His story? Mom, there is no story. He's dead, or at least he was supposed to be. Now he's back, calling himself Mitch Bacall, tormenting people, and you're sitting here acting like..." But he stops mid-sentence when he sees the tears streaming down Nikki's face. Real tears. Not of manipulation or fear, but guilt. Deep, gut-wrenching guilt. "Mom, what is it?" he whispers, his voice breaking. When Nikki finally speaks, her words are soft but devastating. "Matt is my son." The room goes silent. Even the fire seems to still, the crackle dying out as if the universe itself is listening. Nick stares at her, his jaw slack, his heartbeat thundering in his ears. "I'm sorry, what did you just say?" he stammers. "That's impossible." But Nikki shakes her head, tears falling freely now. "It's true, Nicholas. Matt is my son. My child, from before I met your father. Before Victor. Before everything." Nick reels backward, his world spinning. No, Mom, that doesn't make sense. Matt Clark was born in the Midwest, his records were falsified," Nikki interrupts softly. "Everything about his life was built on lies, because I made it that way." Nikki begins to explain, her voice trembling as decades of buried pain rise to the surface. She was just a teenager, long before she became the elegant Mrs. Victor Newman, caught in the chaos of an abusive home and the cruel grip of a manipulative man. She got pregnant, alone, scared, and desperate. The child she bore was taken from her before she could even hold him, swept away under the guise of doing what's best. Her parents and the doctor told her the baby died. But that was a lie. A cruel, orchestrated lie by the same people who thought a young Nikki Reed wasn't fit to raise a child. Years later, she found out the truth. Through whispers, through old hospital records she wasn't supposed to see, she learned that her baby had lived. That he'd been adopted by another family under a false name. But by the time she discovered who he was, it was too late. He was already a grown man. A man filled with anger and resentment. A man named Matt Clark. As Nikki tells her story, Nick's heart shatters. Every word cuts deeper than the last. He can't breathe, can't think. The name Matt Clark carries decades of pain. It's the name of the man who tormented Sharon, who manipulated and gaslit people he claimed to love, who framed Nick for crimes, who made everyone's life hell. And now, his mother is telling him that that man, the enemy, is his half-brother. Nick shakes his head violently. No. I don't believe it. This is insane. Mom, do you have any idea what you're saying? But Nikki only nods, her hands trembling as she reaches for him. I never meant for it to happen this way, Nick. I never meant to hide it. But I was ashamed, and terrified. When I found out who he was, what he had become, I didn't know how to face it. I thought I could handle it quietly, protect all of you from the truth. Nick pulls away, his voice breaking with rage and heartbreak. Protect us? Mom, you lied to us. You lied to me. You let me hate my own brother, you let me think he was just some psycho obsessed with revenge when all along, his words catch in his throat as he sinks into the nearest chair, shaking his head in disbelief. You lied to all of us, he mutters, the phrase coming out like a curse. Nikki sobs, collapsing to her knees before him. I didn't know how to tell you. Every time I tried, I froze. You were so angry, so broken from everything he'd done to you and Sharon. How could I look you in the eyes and say, that man you despise, he's my son? How could I? Nick can't even look at her. His mind flashes with memories, of the first time he met Matt, of their countless fights, of the night Matt threatened his family. Now, all of those moments take on new meaning. The rage in Matt's eyes, the twisted obsession with the Newmans, it wasn't just about power or jealousy. It was about blood. It was about being rejected, abandoned, and never knowing why. I can't believe this, Nick whispers, voice trembling. You knew all along and said nothing. Nikki covers her face with her hands, sobbing uncontrollably. I didn't know at first, she pleads. I found out years after the fact. By then, he was gone, and when I finally pieced it together, it was too late to fix anything. Too late? Nick explodes, his voice rising. Mom, this isn't just some secret you can bury. This changes everything. Do you realize what you've done to this family? His anger boils over as he slams his hand against the coffee table, sending papers flying. You let Dad think Matt was just another enemy. You let Sharon suffer. You let me go to war with my own brother without ever knowing it. Nikki can barely speak through her tears. I was trying to protect you, she cries. I didn't want to lose you too. But Nick's face hardens. You already have, he says quietly, his voice breaking under the weight of betrayal. The silence that follows is suffocating. The crackle of the fire seems to mock them both, the perfect Newman illusion now reduced to ashes. Nikki whispers, please, Nick, you have to understand. I didn't want to destroy this family. Destroy it? Nick laughs bitterly. Mom, it's already destroyed. You just finished what Matt started. He stands, his fists clenched, pacing the room. The truth feels like acid, eating away at every memory, every moment he thought he understood. So what now, he demands. Do I tell Dad that the man he fought for years, the man who came after everything he built, was your son? Do I tell Victoria? Noah? How do we even begin to live with this? Nikki doesn't answer. She can't. Her body shakes as she collapses into the armchair, sobbing uncontrollably. I just wanted to protect my family, she whispers again, as if repeating it will make it true. Nick looks at her, the mother he's loved, the woman who raised him, the matriarch of the Newman dynasty, and for the first time, he doesn't recognize her. "You lied to all of us," he says again, softer this time, but with more pain than anger. "You lied to protect yourself." As he turns to leave, Nikki calls out weakly, "Nick, please, don't go. We can fix this. We can find a way." But Nick shakes his head. "No, Mom. You can't fix this. You can't unmake this lie." He hesitates at the door, his eyes full of heartbreak. "You didn't just lose Matt back then. You've lost me now too." The door slams, echoing through the ranch like a gunshot. Nikki collapses, clutching Victor's photo as tears spill down her face. The weight of decades of secrets has finally crushed her. Somewhere in the shadows of Genoa City, Matt's name lingers like a ghost, the son she lost, the son she found too late, and the brother Nick can never forgive. For the first time in years, Nikki Newman has no one to protect her. No lies left to hide behind. And as the flames flicker behind her, she whispers to the empty room, "I'm so sorry, my son." But the walls of the Newman ranch, built on power, lies, and legacy, hold no forgiveness. Only echoes. And as those echoes fade, the truth remains, Nikki Newman's hidden past has finally come home, and the fallout will shake Genoa City to its core. Because now, the world knows what she spent a lifetime denying, Matt Clark is Nikki Newman's son. And nothing will ever be the same again. The walls of the Newman ranch feel smaller now, suffocating Nikki as she sits in silence, her body trembling, her mind replaying Nick's final words like a knife twisting deeper each time. "You didn't just lose Matt back then. You've lost me now too." His voice, filled with heartbreak and fury, echoes through her memory until she can't breathe. The sound of the slamming door reverberates like thunder, and the crackle of the fire becomes the only companion left to bear witness to her pain. For years, Nikki Newman mastered the art of control, controlling her image, her family, even her own weaknesses. She fought addiction, she fought for love, and she fought to maintain the illusion that the Newmans were untouchable. But tonight, that illusion shattered completely. Every lie she ever told, every secret she ever buried, has come to collect its due. And the cost is her son's trust. In the distance, headlights flash outside the ranch as Victor Newman's car pulls up the long drive. He steps out, expression unreadable, the legendary patriarch carrying himself with the same intimidating grace he always has. But even Victor, the mustache himself, can feel the change in the air. Something is wrong. Deeply wrong. He can sense it before he even steps through the door. Inside, he finds Nikki still in tears, clutching a photo of Nick, her mascara streaked, her breathing shallow. "What the hell happened?" Victor's booming voice demands, the sharp edge of worry breaking through his controlled tone. "Where's Nicholas?" Nikki looks up, her lips trembling. "He's gone," she whispers. "He knows." Victor frowns, confused. "Knows what?" The silence stretches for what feels like forever. Nikki swallows hard, the weight of confession pressing down on her chest like an anchor. "About Matt," she says softly. "He knows who Matt really is." Victor freezes. "What are you saying, Nikki?" And then, she says the words that will forever alter their world, "Matt Clark is my son." Victor's jaw tightens, disbelief flashing in his eyes before rage sets in. "What the hell are you talking about?" he snaps, his voice echoing through the massive living room. "That's impossible. You told me everything about your past, every painful detail, and you expect me to believe you left out something like this?" Nikki's sobs grow louder. "I didn't know at first. I thought he died. I was a child, Victor. My mother made me give him up, told me he was gone, and by the time I found out he was alive, he had already become someone else. I didn't know how to tell you. I didn't know how to tell anyone." Victor paces the room, fury and confusion warring across his face. "Do you realize what this means?" he growls. "That man, that monster, tried to destroy my family. He went after my son, my grandchildren, everything I built. And now you're telling me he was your son this whole damn time? Yes, Nikki whispers, her voice breaking. And I hate myself for it. Victor's face hardens into stone. You should have told me, he says flatly. You should have trusted me. Nikki rises, desperate now. I was terrified. You don't understand, Victor, he hated the Newmans. If I told him the truth, he would have come after us even harder. He would have used it against us. Victor slams his fist on the table, sending a crystal glass crashing to the floor. He did come after us, Nikki. And your silence made it worse. Every secret in this family turns into a damn weapon, and now you've given our enemies ammunition for generations. Her body trembles under the weight of his words. She can barely stand. I never wanted this, she whispers, tears falling again. I just wanted to keep everyone safe. But now, I've lost Nick. Victor takes a deep breath, trying to calm the storm within, but his voice is cold when he finally speaks again. You might have lost more than that, he says darkly. Meanwhile, Nick storms into crimson lights, the wind howling behind him as he pushes through the door. The cafe is nearly empty, but Sharon is there, wiping down the counter, lost in thought. When she looks up and sees him, her face lights up, until she realizes something is terribly wrong. His face is pale, his eyes bloodshot, his hands shaking. Nick, she asks softly. What happened? He doesn't speak at first. He just stares at her, as if he's seeing a ghost. Finally, he mutters, You're never going to believe this. Sharon walks around the counter, her concern growing. Nick, you're scaring me. What is it? He laughs bitterly. You remember Matt Clark? The color drains from her face instantly. Of course she remembers. How could she not? Matt Clark was a nightmare, a manipulative, abusive man who destroyed her marriage, her peace, her sense of safety. He nearly ended her life more than once. The mere mention of his name makes her hands tremble. Of course I remember him, she whispers. Why? Nick swallows hard, his throat tightening. Because my mother just told me something that changes everything. Something I can't even wrap my head around. Sharon's voice is barely audible. Nick, what did she say? He hesitates, then blurts out the words that still feel impossible even as he speaks them. Matt Clark was my mother's son. My brother. The silence that follows is deafening. Sharon's eyes widen in horror, her hand flying to her mouth. Oh my God, she whispers. No, that can't be true. It is, Nick mutters, his voice breaking. She just admitted it. Said she had a baby before Victor, before everything, that she thought he died but he was adopted under a fake name. And that baby was Matt. Sharon sinks into a chair, her face pale. Nick, that means the man who terrorized you, who came after us, who ruined our lives, was my brother, Nick finishes for her. And my mother knew. She knew, and she said nothing. Sharon looks at him with empathy, but he's too far gone to feel it. He's pacing now, running a hand through his hair, his mind spinning. You know what's crazy? It all makes sense now. The way Matt always seemed obsessed with my family. The way he talked about us, like he had a personal vendetta, like it was deeper than jealousy. He didn't just hate us, Sharon. He hated me, because I had the life he never got. Sharon's eyes fill with tears. Nick, I can't imagine what you're feeling right now, but please, don't do anything you'll regret. He lets out a sharp, bitter laugh. Regret? Sharon, my whole life is one big regret right now. My mom let me live a lie. She let me hate someone who, God help me, I should have had a chance to save. At the ranch, Victor sits in his office, brooding as he stares out the window into the night. He's been through wars, betrayals, corporate takeovers, and scandals, but this? This hits differently. His wife's son, a man who tried to destroy his family, being revealed as blood? It's an unthinkable twist of fate. And for Victor Newman, nothing cuts deeper than betrayal within his own walls. When Victoria bursts into the room later, she can feel the tension immediately. "Dad? What's going on?" "I just got a text from Nick," he sounded off. Victor doesn't turn around. "You should sit down, Victoria." The tone in his voice makes her heart skip. "What happened?" she asks cautiously. He finally turns, his eyes cold, his expression unreadable. "Your mother's been keeping a secret. A big one." When he tells her, Victoria is speechless. "No," she gasps. "That's not possible. Matt Clark? Mom's son?" Victor nods grimly. It appears the sins of the past always come home. Victoria runs a hand through her hair, trying to make